Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Muhi Khwaja with the Muslim Philanthropy podcast at American Muslim Community Foundation. Today we have on our special guest, Omar Yaqub, who is from the Islamic Family and Social Services Association, IFSSA, and he serves as their servant of servants. And IFSSA has been recognized as an outstanding nonprofit for our Muslim Philanthropy Awards as a nominee. So congratulations and welcome, Omar.
Walaikum salam. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been wonderful to see AMCF grow and to make this effort to recognize organizations in our community.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot that the American community can learn from the work that IFSA is doing in Canada and kind of looking at those cross country partnerships that do arrive and how we can work together. So tell us a little bit about how IFSA started and your involvement there.
Yeah. So IFSA is nearly 30 years old. It started in a community member's basement, and it was a recognition of increasing poverty in our community. It started as a food bank in their basement. And over the years, it's grown and grown. It's grown to expand to the complex needs of the community. So now people come to us for a variety of reasons. They come to us because of safety, security, and growth. Security looks at food security and income security. Safety looks at mental health, combating domestic violence, supporting refugees coming and making Canada home. And growth looks at how do we help develop youth? How do we help develop volunteers? How do we help develop leadership in our community?
That's really fantastic and inspiring to see how an organization that started in a basement kind of grows into this large scale institution. And I think that story is telling of the nonprofit journey across the country and in the developing, how they've developed over time in both the U.S. and Canada. We have so much to pay our homage and respect to these founding institutions that create all of these services for the community.
Yeah, very much so. And I feel we're in this very exciting time where we're building on some really strong foundations. If it hadn't been for those strong foundations, I don't think IFSA could be here. A lot of our growth has been very recent. To put it in perspective, we serve more people in 1 month than we did in all of 2015. That's 5,000 people in one
Wow.
month. That was what we were serving in all of 2015.
Hmm. That's really remarkable. So, what would you attribute that growth to? Is it, maybe professionalizing staff? Is it just the generous outpour and support from the community? Is it policies that, maybe the U.S. stopped aiding a lot of refugees, so more refugees go to Canada? What's involved in that?
I think it's all of that. If I had to attribute it to one thing, I think it's putting our best foot forward and bringing our whole skill set to the table. One of the things we've seen emerge in Edmonton, we're a fourth generation Muslim community. We have the first mosque in Canada. Is we're seeing, a ton of people who are grown habituated to Canadian life choose to choose to offer their services and contribute to the community here. One of the things we started doing in 2013, 2014 was take a listening based approach, starting with our youth program. Right? We started with the listening campaign. We spent our time investing in listening and learning what youth wanted and developing our programming based on that, putting youth in leadership positions. And those ideas have trickled up to the rest of the organization and led to better policies, better structures, um, attracting attracting new talent into the fold. And all of those things have allowed us um, to really take advantage of the time we're in and to speak to and into the tremendous need of the time we're in.
Right. And where does the trajectory of your background and your skill set and the leadership that you bring to IFSA kind of intersect?
I've been really fortunate to fail and stumble and bruise and break myself in a lot of different areas in the sector. Um, I did an undergrad in computing science and then an MBA, and then did global development, worked in organizations that give out funds,
Mm,
work in economic development, um, done management consulting, and all of those skill sets I think are really essential to organizational growth.
right.
Um, More than that, though, I think what I've been really lucky, really blessed to be around is a ton of really incredible people. People who bring professional skill sets, whether they're CPAs or HR types or psychologists coming to the table, professional social workers, professional researchers. I've been really blessed to be around a lot of great people.
That's really great. And I think, that's the strength of leadership is kind of bringing those best experiences of like learning from those bruises and bumps and stumbles, as you put it, to create a larger ecosystem of how you can encourage other people to participate and be part of the process.
Mm.
So if I were to ask if, in your time at IFSA, what would you say are some of the top reasons and why you feel IFSA was nominated as part of this outstanding nonprofit group of nominees that have been identified?
Yeah. First, I want to say there's a really exceptional group that's been nominated. All of them are really amazing and organizations I tremendously respect. I think some of the things I think that are special about IFSA is this holistic approach we take to social services. We're look at food security, but we don't stop there, right? We
Mm-hmm.
think about the mental health, we think about youth, we think about mentorship, we think about what are the wraparound services, and we take this really, I think, a really amazing approach about how do we work with the larger systems around us. So not being insular and saying this is something that's by us and for us, but saying this is a common societal problem.
Right.
Let's work at understanding the systemic roots of it and addressing it. And so we're unique in that we match community generosity with government and uh, government and foundational support to create this unique hybrid where someone might come to us because they're food insecure, but then we're able to support them through combating domestic violence or through other routes out of poverty. Or we're able to support a youth in navigating identity at a critical juncture.
Yeah, and I think, there's a lot of people in the US that are either from Canada or Canadian citizens working in the US, and a lot of opportunity for even Muslims here in the US who want to work with a refugee population, but knowing that more refugees are going to Canada. So I think there's a lot of ways in which, obviously you've been accredited and get gold star standards for charities in Canada, and have been recognized through the government of Alberta and everything like that. So, I would welcome more people from the US to kind of look at IFSA to support them and kind of encourage more of a symbiotic relationship between US donors and the potential to help your organization as well.
Yeah, that's really appreciated. One of the things that came out of the last few years is a number of American philanthropists, most of whom aren't Muslim, who are passionate about supporting refugees, uh, chose to fund Canadian organizations. And there's a program the UN administers called the Blended Visa Office Referral, and it's there to support some of the most dire and afflicted refugees. And these are refugees who don't have family connections in other parts of the world, um, who might have some really significant barriers, and we're able to help them make Canada a new home.
I think that's really,
One
yeah, go ahead.
one other small note just to add to that is just this year, I don't know, it might have been a little bit earlier, but Canada now takes in more refugees than the U.S., even though we're a fraction of the size of the U.S.
Right. Right. I think that's definitely something notable. And in terms of kind of where they're placed, like you're focused more on Alberta, but what partnerships do you have across Canada as well?
Oh, yeah. So one of IFSA's core values is true partnership. We try to work really closely with government agencies, but also other nonprofits. So some of our close partners are Indigenous organizations, other settlement organizations, and we look at what are the ways that we can collaborate together to address uh, problems, and we think about it from base needs to messaging and societal needs. So one of the efforts we're working on right now with Bent Arrow, Catholic Social Services, the Edmonton Mennonite Center for Newcomers is a program called Roots of Resilience, where we encourage diverse voices to share stories, and we look at the commonality between Indigenous people and settlers on this land. And so there's always opportunities for partnership and collaboration. And I think partnership teaches us so much in terms of exposing us to best practices, exposing us to better ways of doing things, and also helping to build truly meaningful relationships and alliances.
Yeah, I definitely think collaboration is key. If we all worked in silos, I don't think we would get nearly as much done.
Yeah.
And it's really great to see that your organization's been able to establish those relationships and build on that over the last 30 years.
Yeah. I think one of the unique opportunities we have as Muslims is to see how can we make how can we make this place better for everybody, not just better for Muslims, right? Because one of the things I think we're
Right.
compelled to do is call to ends, call to means, not not in a tribal way, but in a way that actually looks at the betterment of the society we're in.
Agreed. And I think that's what fuels a lot of people's commitment in this nonprofit work, right? Is finding that relation to our faith, relation to the community overall. And just like your sign there on your wall says, building a better world, right? I think
Yeah.
that's something that we all believe in and something that we want to aspire to. So, anything else that you want to share with the listeners that we didn't cover so far?
One of the things I appreciate you brought up was this is some stuff that just happened this year was we achieved Imagine Canada accreditation,
Mm-hmm.
which is the gold standard for nonprofits in Canada. Now, Imagine Canada is about accountability, transparency.
Right.
It's about a lot of the back end policy stuff, and that's stuff that's I think it's really easy to ignore and put on the back burner because it's not stuff um, that can seem as pressing as getting more food out there or doesn't have the immediate ramifications. But it's one of those things that I think pays dividends in the long run. And I think it's something we're really passionate about sharing, right? How do we share what we've learned? How do we share our approach to youth programming? How do we share the policies we've worked on? How do we share the ideas that we've developed with other organizations? What we love to see is to see other organizations build off the stuff we've helped develop. One of our um, jewels in our crown is the Green Room, which is a youth program that a few years ago won one of the Omar Wide's 40 most innovative um, Muslim startups.
Awesome.
And it's an approach to youth programming that I think can work anywhere, and it's something that's so necessary. Like, how do we develop truly youth-led, youth-driven endeavors that harness and build on the energy in our community?
Right. I think there's so much untapped potential for providing services to youth to help them grow, to help them form positive and healthy identities as Muslim Americans in Canada and the United States, and just kind of making sure that they feel supported. And I was recently talking with some of the Islamic relief staff, and Anwar Khan, who runs the is the president of Islamic Relief USA, was talking about like 25 years ago, a lot of their efforts started with youth groups. And then now to see them grow over the years, and now those youth group leaders are leading nonprofits themselves and have been engaged and are part and parcel of the community that they invested in. So I truly believe that initiatives like the Green Room and that IFSSA has, and other organizations that focus on youth, are so critical to the longevity of continuing the legacy of Islam in America.
Yeah, I agree. And thinking about what are the ways we can make the system better for everybody, right? I think there's huge opportunities for Muslims to look at the value we can bring to financial empowerment, to food empowerment, to chaplaincies in
Right.
university or prisons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Looking at the ways we can talk about financial literacy from our tradition, even looking at the ways we can approach foster care and kinship care. Like we have
I
something
love that. Yeah.
to offer that's based in our tradition that makes these really critical parts of the social safety net better for everybody.
Yeah, I commend you on the work that you're doing, and really phenomenal integration into all of those societal needs. So again, congratulations on the nomination, and really great reconnecting with you, Omar.
Oh, likewise. Thank you so much. Thank you for the work you're doing.
Happy to
It's been
do it.
amazing seeing AMCF grow,
Oh, thank you.
to see the work it's doing, and just to see this energy it's capturing. It's really, really wonderful. Thank you for the work.
Of course. Take care.
Uh, Take